Welcome back. All right, so another first round preview, and this is the final one. And I'm ending it off with the New York Rangers and the Pittsburgh Penguins. This should be a fascinating matchup. Again, every series has its own intrigue, and for this one, it really is that the New York Rangers are favorites. The channel, 68% of the channel says Rangers. Now, that's still a lower percentage than a lot of the other favorites, but it's still a pretty good percentage. So for the New York Rangers, can they handle this pressure? This is the first time that this team has had to handle this kind of pressure in a long time. And so the regular season would tell you, yeah, they're probably good. They did a pretty good job against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh won the first meeting on February 26th, 1-0. And I said before that first game, I said these teams could have a lot of deciding power in where the other team ends up in the standings. And on some level, that's true because the Rangers got 6 points since then, and Pittsburgh none in these matchups. March 25th, it's a 5-1 win for the Rangers. March 29th, it's 3-2 Rangers. April 7th, 3-0 Rangers. So, of course, if Pittsburgh had won all four and the Rangers lose all four, Pittsburgh, home ice. But that's not how it worked. And for the New York Rangers, they've shown that they can beat Pittsburgh, and now it's playoff time. We don't know what kind of percentage Tristan Jarry is going to be at in terms of his health. And so, yeah, the questions around goaltending are still there for some teams. Obviously, Nashville has it the worst. When I did the preview for Colorado and Nashville, I mentioned Saros because I don't care what's broken and I don't care what's going on. Goaltenders in the playoffs get brought in sometimes when they're not quite ready, and so we'll see if that's the case with Jarry in this one. Now the Rangers 52-24-6 on the season. The last 10 games they were 6-4. They did win their final game before the season finished. At home 27-10-4, very good record. Away from home pretty solid too, 25-14-2. So on the Pittsburgh side, they're 46-25-11. Their last 10 games 5-4-1. They won their last game. Pittsburgh coming into this a little bit colder than some of the others. At home 22-13-5 and away from home 23-12-6. So for Pittsburgh, it's going to be really interesting to watch and see how this turns out because we may have that last hurrah going on. Key players on the Rangers side, it has to be Artemi Panarin. 75 games, 22 goals, 74 assists, 96 points. It's remarkable how many 100-point scorers we had this year and how many more we would have had if not for injuries. So Panarin would have been one of those guys. Kreider, 81 games, 52 goals, 25 assists, 77 points. That's how you play after signing a big contract. And for Kreider, it's been an excellent season. Zibanejad, 81 games, 29 goals, 52 assists, 81 points. He's been a remarkably consistent player for the New York Rangers. And on the blue line, I had to pick Fox, right? 78 games, 11 goals, 63 assists, 74 points. Another phenomenal season. He's not being talked about nearly as much for Norris, and yet I don't think he took a step back. I think it's just been a phenomenal season for a defenseman. So Fox gets overshadowed a bit. I don't think he's going to care if they have playoff success. Shesterkin, 36-13-4, 935 save percentage, very likely to win the Vezina Trophy, and we'll see if Pittsburgh can beat him. That's been a problem for a lot of teams this year. Pittsburgh, of course, losing by a combined score of 11-3 in those final three games against the Rangers. They got to figure this out. And who better than Sid the Kid? Sidney Crosby, 69 games, 31 goals, 53 assists, 84 points. If you're saying he's too old to be a kid, I'm a lot older than Crosby, so I can still call him the kid. Malkin, 41 games, 20 goals, 22 assists, 42 points, showing that two things are true. Malkin will get hurt any given season, and he will provide you about a point per game any given season as well. And so the question becomes one of, is Malkin 100% healthy? What kind of Malkin are we going to get in the playoffs? Sometimes he can be that fantastic, great player, and sometimes he kind of floats a bit. But it can happen where he floats for the first period, and then in the second he's fantastic, and then it kind of splits up in the third. We'll see what they get. Jake Gensel, 76 games, 40 goals, 44 assists, 84 points. Remarkable season for Jake Gensel. Not really a huge surprise, but, Gensel's been fantastic, really. And then on the blue line, Letang. I've talked about this before. I'm talking about it here as well. Nobody talking about the season Letang's had. 78 games, 10 goals, 58 assists, 68 points. Not bad for a guy who's supposed to be past his prime, is seen as injury prone. He played 76 games. That's pretty good. Then in net, it's all about Jarry's health. And then, of course, last year in the playoffs, Tristan Jarry melted down. It didn't go well. And so they want to avoid that again. Jari, his numbers during the regular season are encouraging. 34, 18, and 6 with a 919 save percentage. And early on in the season, there were Penguins fans that thought that he should be in the Hart conversation. That died off, but Jari still had a very good season. Now, playoffs over the last 4 years for the Rangers, not a lot to talk about in that category. 2018 was a no. 2019 was also a no. 2020, they lose in the qualifying round in 3 straight against Carolina Hurricanes. And 2021, also a no. So for the New York Rangers, and again, last year I thought they were better than some of the teams that made the playoffs in other divisions. And this year I think they've just shown that. They've had a fantastic year. On the Pittsburgh side of things, since the 2017 Stanley Cup, it's been a little bit rougher for Pittsburgh. They lost in round 2 in 2018 and 6 against the Washington Capitals. 2019, they lose in the first round and 4 straight against New York Islanders. 2020, the most embarrassing on the board is that loss in the qualifying round against Montreal, 3-1. And then 2021, they lost in the first round in 6 games against the Islanders. And as I said, it was a meltdown by Jari that really helped the Islanders get into that next round. So for Pittsburgh, I will say this, they're overdue for a run. We might be underestimating them. Maybe they go on that run. But for the Rangers, might be fun to see them go on one themselves. So this is quite the series. Both teams looking for playoff success, and we'll see which one gets it. So let me know in the comment section below who you believe will get it. Oh, I didn't get into the specialty teams. The Rangers, 25.2% on the power play. Excellent. Penalty kill, 20.2% for the Penguins. Keep in mind the Penguins don't take penalties, so that will hurt that. Penalty kill, Pittsburgh, 84.4%. For the Rangers, 82.3%. Goal scoring, Pittsburgh's favored there, 3.28 goals per game compared to 3.05 for the Rangers. But keeping the puck out of your net, the Rangers are better at that. They allow 2.49 goals per game. And on the Pittsburgh side, they allow 2.71 goals per game. All right, so just one last look at the board. Yeah, I got all of it now. So there you go. I tried to keep all these short by my standard and right around the exact same length for each video. And yeah, just keep it simple, because going into the first round, it's simple. And then when I'm doing previews of other rounds after that, might be a little bit more complicated and a little bit more drawn out. But I will say this, the 8 matchups we've got look fantastic, and it should be a great playoffs. So let me know in the comment section below who you think wins. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.